Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our first budget work session. If I can get Mr. Booster sitting in his mouth, Mr. Keeper, you give me the invocation and the pledge.
All right, I'll be happy to, Mr. Chair.
You know that's what it is. You got to pay for that.
Okay.
There's never payment when God's involved.
That's exactly right.
Lord, be with us as we make decisions. Use your wisdom to guide us as we do the county's business. Please pray for safety and walk with people in harm's way. Protect our law enforcement, our service members, and all the people in your care. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we have our work session tonight. What I'll do is, we really don't have an agenda, so I'll make it up in my head like I usually do. I'm going to go to the manager, because I think he had a couple of things. I'll say a couple of words, and then I'll open it up for any commissioner. Mr. Manager.
Yes, Chairman Adams. I have two programs that we omitted out of the budget. $1,000 for the Child Advocacy Center, and then also $95,297 for the Council for Older Adults for the program for feeding services to 90 additional clients for community funding. This is oversight on my part.
I make a motion.
Well, we're not passing the budget, but
That's right, okay.
I just want to make sure on that. Is that in addition to, or that the whole thing? Because they already had, they're in the budget. I thought you were just doing, because
Added to it.
you just added to it, so it's not an additional.
No.
It's a correction on what
Yes,
that number was.
correct.
Okay. All right, I didn't want it to be that you gave some additional.
Right. So, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we originally had $100,000 for the Wisdom Meals on Wheels program.
Yeah, but I think this was, you remember when they came and did their presentation, they had some kind of frozen truck, and that frozen food that they needed for the end of the year or whatever that was. I think that's what, I think we all kind of, I don't know if there was consensus at that meeting or whatever, and I guess that's the part that he's talking about now.
And so now the new amount is $100,000 plus.
Yeah, well, $96,297 more, being almost $300,000, $299,990.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I didn't think it was that much. I thought they just wanted it for.
No, it's that.
Okay. All right. So, I just got a couple of comments, and then, like I said, I'll open it up to the commissioners. I will tell you that, Mr. Manager and the finance team, y'all did an excellent job on this budget. I think it's as good a budget as I've seen in recent years. So I just wanted to make sure that we all were on the same boat, is that there is no tax increase. We're still at 79.9 cents, 79.9. And I think just to, for everybody's, so 1 cent on the dollar, I think brings $2,581.01. Is that correct? And so we kept it at the same rate, so there's no tax increase for the citizens of Cumberland County. I do want, and I think Commissioner Keefe and I have had this conversation. So I want our citizens to know, we are going ad valorem. We put in that we're going to go ad valorem. So there's been some issue as to our tax rate at 79.9 was higher than a number of the counties. And it is my belief, and Mr. Manager, if I'm wrong, you correct me, or anybody around the table, is that over the years, we've been at per capita, which most of the counties in Cumberland County are not. I mean, in the state of North Carolina are not. And so those funds have been going to the cities, where normally they would come back over into the county would get it, the school system would have an increase, and Parks and Rec, and maybe the fire. Is that correct?
Correct.
So basically, by not doing that, it's why we had the rate of 79.9, be able to get the money to be able to take care of the things that we needed to take care of. So, not speculating on the future, but if things hold out with the ad valorem, we may be even able to reduce that 79.9. I'm not telling anybody we're going to do that, but there's a possibility on that.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for that.
And this was, and I think Commissioner Council might have been here, and Commissioner Fairclough, this was when they did that great Big Bang annexation and took in just about all of West Fayetteville, which would have changed it. And so this county took the brunt of it and capped it per capita. I would have back then probably voted to go ad valorem, but wiser heads took care of basically the city of Fayetteville and some other places at the detriment to the way I look at it, to the county, because those funds would have came into the county as opposed to going. So if you're talking about at $2 million, we go ad valorem, the amount of money that would have came into our budget would have been a considerable amount of money. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to get that on the table. So there's this thing that we've got this artificially high tax rate, and I think that's a misnomer. So I want our citizens to know that. Commissioner Booth.
Just briefly, you summed it up correctly. It was 8 years ago, and we've been talking about it for about 8 years, maybe even longer. That's just as long as I've been here. And every time we get close to pulling the trigger, they said, well, if you'll give us some notice and we can get ready for next year, we can get ready for next year. And it was like my prom date, always avoiding me. Next prom, and I never got to the dance. So I've had a couple of calls saying, well, why didn't you give us some advance notice on this? I talked with some folks, they said this came out of the blue. I said, we've talked about it every year for the last 8 years. I said, so this is not a surprise, this isn't peekaboo, this was a long time coming.
Mr. Chair, your points are well taken, and unfortunately, sometimes that story is not told on the Facebook post. But, because we were at that particular rate that most large counties were not in the state of North Carolina. In fact, we were subsidizing some of the towns and municipalities by doing services that they are typically responsible for. So, for many years, artificially, they were lower than they should have been. So, to the citizens who react, please look at the numbers, look at the differences. At the end of the day, city residents or county residents, we all try to be good stewards of taxpayer money. But I'm proud of this budget. It's a good budget. And with all of the financial monsoons that we've been through in the last couple of years with COVID and the juggling that we've had to do to be able to continue to keep services at the level that we have while keeping the tax rate at it as it is right now, I think it's a great job showing that we're all being proper stewards of county taxpayer money. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And that, my next, I don't know if anybody else had any comment. You got to raise your hand. I can't read mine now.
It was finished or not, so I was going to thank you. First, I just want to say that I do appreciate the support.
I'm just going through, you got it on the tax rate, and then after that, I'll come back. I'm going to come back. They were just doing it on the tax rate that I was talking about, but I'll come back around.
Okay,
when
that's
everything
what I meant. I don't have anything on that.
Yeah, okay. The next thing, in terms of the budget was for the schools. I think that if you look at this budget, they were funded really well. We had a formula for years that was instituted by Commissioner Council and Commissioner Keith and this board at 43 point, what was it?
43.47.
Right, and percent of the budget. And that's what we've done this particular time. And I think if you look at the nurses and some of the other things that the school system made out really well, I would tell you a couple of things so that as we go forward, we know. if the board remember, I talked to most everybody about teacher supplements and that I would be willing to champion that. They didn't put it in their budget because we don't line item. We give them their funds and then they spend them the way they wanted to. I told them if they would basically say that this is what they're going to do. At their last budget meeting, they said it was too late for them to put it in the budget, so it didn't get in the budget. So I don't want the teachers to come think that this board did not do teacher supplements on the school system. I think we had an email where they actually changed the system a few years ago, which was to the detriment of teachers and teacher supplement. But we have the third highest attrition rate of teachers in the state, and probably second because one of the counties is so small. If they lose one or two people, it just they're at a high rate. When you got the third highest rate of teacher attrition, I think you got to do things to be able to make sure we have teachers. I don't look at their budget. I stay in my lane, but I did have the question of, one, why you didn't put it in the budget when you gave $20,000 raises to your executive people. Why didn't you wait till your budget to put it in there? You did it a month or so before the budget, and you might lose one or two of them. But when you don't have teachers, it's a problem. Everybody. So I'm getting myself in trouble, but I just want everybody to know. The last thing I'll tell you, I'm going to come back to you on that, is I think it's kind of irresponsible that you take URSA funds, which are one-time funds, and you put them on recurring projects. You know they're one-time funds, they're going to run out. They took money out of their fund balance. I'm just setting it up for next year because they took money out of their fund balance to be able to do reoccurring on these salaries they have. No, they're not going to have enough in their fund balance next year, so when they come back and tell us that this board didn't give enough money and they got to fire that people, don't put it on the back of this board. You should not use one-time money for reoccurring projects, and we haven't done that. Thank goodness to this board that we've never thought about doing that. Commissioner Keith.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I just want to touch base because, part of our job that we have to do here is we have to let the citizens know where their taxpayer money is going. And to the point that was brought up a little bit earlier, our tax rate is basically 80 cents. And what we need to understand is 35 cents of that 80 cents goes directly to the school system. The county really never gets a chance to see that. So if you had $1 and you were paying taxes on 43 cents of that dollar, it doesn't go to county services specifically, but it does go to the public school system, which also includes charter schools and some of the other things. So that rate is in line, if not greater, than many of the other counties around. So we've had a very good relationship working with the school system. I hope that we all agree that education is important, but so to the taxpayer out there, a large percentage of your tax rate does go directly to the school system and not into just the county coffers.
Well, with that line, Commissioner Keith, I got two former school board members and one former employee of the school system who always pushes us to make sure we fund these schools, and we do fund them out of our budget to be able to do what they do. I don't know if anybody else has anything on the schools.
Just real quick, I seem to remember the relationship was a whole lot better about 15, 18 years or so ago. I don't know why. It seemed like there was never any problem back then. We all met. A couple times we met for dinner to kind of hash things out, but we always resolve things. And I'm a Pine Forest graduate, so I'm a graduate of the school system. All 5 of my kids are graduates of the school system, and they're all doing wonderfully. So it's we have a great school system. We have great teachers. We got to figure out ways. And the old way of just automatically saying, here's $5 more, that we no project, whether it's human resources or roofs or anything like that, just throwing money at it, you just can't say that now I've solved it. So it's going to require some long-term vision on how to get everything back to copacetic, but it's worth the effort.
That would take us to my next point. which has been in the news, which is the SRO and the crossing guards. I've had conversations with the manager, because those funds are there and those positions may or may not exist, we would look to pull those back into our general fund and the general fund of the county, along with the vehicles that they have, since those line items don't exist anymore. All right. Is that everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. The last thing, and the Commissioner Fairclough is not here, this was for Commissioner Fairclough as much as anything else. You will see that the solid waste, and I think y'all did an excellent job. I think I saw, there she is back there in the corner. The user fees increase. We did some proposed fee increases on the solid waste. I think they are warranted. I think that staff did an excellent job ferreting that out. Part of the problem is, and we talk about it all the time, is our landfill is going to give out. And the life of the landfill is quickly dwindling. We needed mile and yards. We've all been on this board. We've heard for the last 4 or 5 years. We won't give that to you. We won't give that to you from the city of Fayetteville. We have not gotten it, and so we're going to have to at least now move forward looking at this transfer station to make sure that we take care of the citizens of Cumberland County. So I know y'all saw those solid waste fees. Hopefully anybody didn't have any problems with them. I think it's the proper way to go. It's an enterprise fund that has to take care of itself. So that's all I had. So I will go to, I guess, Commissioner Jones.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I do appreciate the continued support that we find in our budget for mental health and investments, and I am a strong mental health advocate, but I'm also a very strong supporter and advocate for a better quality of life through the Cape Fear Theater, and I have been hearing a lot from supporters of the theater in the community. Their expansion project is impressive, and I feel it's very needed. They don't have the space they need to serve all of their education programs, and they continue to sell out of shows. And we, as a commission board, we know the value that the arts, of course, and culture plays in the quality of life, economic development, and attracting and retaining businesses. So I do believe that it's our time to make an investment, like the city already has, the state, and other partners, donors, business that also have been aboard. So I am requesting strong consideration that the Cape Fear Regional Theater and their expansion be included in the budget for $700,000 over years, $700,000 per year for 5 years. I just want to thank everybody for listening to this recommendation, and I do look forward to a discussion at a future time and date.
Okay, so that's at a future time and date because...
That's correct.
Okay, all right. So that's not tonight's issue. That's not in this budget.
Right.
Thank you. I know that I talked to Ms. Price. He was doing the agenda for the agenda setting conference, and that was on for them to make a presentation. I would tell, I talked to the executive director today, and she kind of understood it because I said that one of the things that, especially with this budget, is as tight as it can be. And again, when we're talking about these reoccurring funds for the next 3 or 4 years, that has to be factored in. So they'll be here, because I know she has it on there because she showed me.
Absolutely.
And she'll send out another list of anybody else who has anything else on the agenda.
And I thank you. I just wanted to make it
Yes, ma'am.
clear that I am a champion for that, and I'm looking forward to us moving forward with that, to at least discuss it.
All right, we will discuss it. Anyone else have anything else?
I know I can't be the only one that's receiving comments from teachers. They're complaining about raises, but that's not us.
Right.
That's their board making a decision, and we don't get into that. That's not our business. Am I the only one?
Nope, that's what I was talking about. Nope.
I've heard quotes of, Dr. Larry Rowetter was our first superintendent back in like 90 when they merged the school systems, and his whole thing was, he sat down and he said, y'all take some time, we'll have a meeting together. He said, you celebrate what you value, and you use your efforts and your resources for what you value too. So we we had the teacher raises almost caught up with everybody for a time being, and then there was a little blowback, but yeah, I agree with you. They had some money. They thought, who should we give this to? And they've chosen, and that's, that was their decision.
And
We don't
there's
have any input
absolutely
on it.
nothing we
Right.
can do about that.
No,
That's right. We don't line item the school's budget, and that has always been the issue. I will say that, talked to Commissioner Stewart, she lost her mother, and that's why she's not here today. The services are tomorrow, 11 o'clock for the wake, 12 o'clock for the funeral is at True Vine Ministries. Talked last night to Commissioner Fairclough, who had a conflict and could not be here today, so I bet that everybody know that. If nothing else, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I have got to say thank you for not bringing up my, and we're going to have fixed the way I participate in the meetings. But I have had a trip from the hot place.
From Helga.
Okay, and it has been difficult. Now, I did not look my age until I had this death and I had this, shut up, Jimmy. Not one word,
You know better.
but
Well, you look good tonight. You look good.
that's because you haven't seen me.
I think it was kind of hot.
Make sure you
still
don't get that
talking.
in a minute. We also need a birthday party for me. I'll let you know when I'm turning a year older. But a lot of things seemed to be easier, or I have had enough experience to understand. It's been, if you remember, some arguments and allowing the press to get in the, well, okay, I need to shut up. But we have done a good job of working together, okay, as a board, and we don't take for granted that the money will come in, but there is a plan. It's a good plan. It makes sense. So I am happy, okay? But I've got a lot of hard days ahead of me. I need some strong men to help me.
Don't get Michael Booth, because he can't walk. As long as he's sitting down, you're okay.
Yeah, I got
Knee surgeries.
Yeah.
Knee surgeries.
He's had it already.
He done had 2 or 3 of them. What you talking about? They done replaced some replacements.
Oh, my Lord. Okay.
Trying to get both of them done at the same time and be over 6 foot tall. I mean, a little height at it.
Mike.
Let's get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Let's give a second.
Second.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor? All right, we are adjourned. I told y'all 5:30. That was about 6 o'clock.